Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our business relationship roundtable as part of the Love Ideas Summit. And I've got some special guests here today and just really excited to be with them. Um, I've got Greg Reed from The Secret Knock. I've got Phoenix Jackson from The Phoenix Effect, and love working with her on stuff, and John Rulin on Giftologies. And guys, like I said, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, because I don't want to miss anything, of how awesome you are and all of the things that you do to help people in situations in making their businesses better and making them better as people. So, Phoenix, why don't we start with you?
Yay, ladies first.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm Phoenix Jackson, and yes, I'm the CEO and founder of The Phoenix Effect. We are a 15-year running PR and marketing firm, but we are not just, sort of your regular public relations. We have a credo with our company that if you're not doing something that's pushing the human collective forward, you cannot work with us. And so in the last 15 years, the company grew from being sort of a mom and pop's organization in the basement of my home in Denver to having clients in 8 states and 4 continents. And it's been such an experience because, we're going to be in this panel discussing relationships and business relationships. And a firm like mine is strictly built on relationships. It's built on perception, self-perception, as well as public perception. And, it's been exciting to work with some of the biggest names in entertainment, media, athletes, politicians, and, big nonprofit organizations around the globe as well. And, when you're asked as a child, like who or what you want to be, I never thought about this. I just knew, like, hey, I want to get rich and I want to help people. And, so it's been interesting because I've been able to be a part of some major movements and, being in rooms and boardrooms and changing the cultural narrative in so many ways, and it's been really exciting. The journey has been really exciting, and I'm proud to be here with you all today to just share some nuggets and see how we can inform and educate the audience in the best way. And again, Phoenix Jackson, and you guys can find me at flywithphoenix.tv or Phoenix Effect if you all are interested in just all the nuggets that we share on our company website as well.
For sure. Thanks, Phoenix. That's Phoenix Effect with an A.com,
A
right?
to impact. Yep. Phoenix
Yep.
Effect.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. Well, John, how about you, give us a little bio on you there.
Yeah, so I'm a Midwest guy. I grew up in Ohio, milking goats on 47 acres. One of 6 kids. I have my wife's family farms 5,000 acres. That's why we're in St. Louis. People are like, why'd you move from Ohio to St. Louis? That's why. I've had a firm since I interned with Cutco back in college 20 years ago. I had a mentor who was a rainmaker, and relationships were his kind of currency. Referrals, deal flow, access, good times, bad times, didn't matter. He was just a deal making machine. And we built our whole business model. Nobody cares about gifts. We wrote the book Giftology. People are like, who cares? Why is this guy on stage? But really at the core level, what we talk about is all businesses rise and fall based on relationships with clients, employees, mentors, investors, advisors. And especially in challenging times, you find out who actually has your back. And oftentimes people will talk about the woo-woo stuff, gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude isn't a feeling, it's an action. And so the core of our business is we own a gifting agency that help people love on their most important relationships in good times and in bad, to be able to build those relationships from afar and stay top of mind and engage those people and let them know that they matter. And so that's the core of our business, and really the core of any business is helping people do that at scale.
And how can people find you, John?
We're right on the screen there. Giftologygroup.com is that's my personal email. But yeah, if you Google Giftology, you're gonna find. I'm a big believer in what Phoenix says. Like, you got to have your name out there and in front of people, and we've been fortunate to have a lot of people write about us. But if you go on Amazon and Google Giftology, that's our playbook.
That's cool, man. Thank you. It's funny because 2 of you guys, there's 3 books that I always carry when I'm traveling, and 2 of you are part of that group. So, because they're quick reads and they're really good information. So, Greg, give us some background and info on you, man.
Well, it's a privilege and an honor to be with everybody. What a cool group. So thank you very much for the inclusion. My name is Greg. I'm an author, speaker, filmmaker here in the mean streets of San Diego, California. Born and raised along the ocean. When I was a kid, things were kind of rough. One time there was low tide and we couldn't have surf class. So, you know, I know the struggles. They're real, right? And I've been published now in 106 books, 45 different languages. And my latest feature film is trending worldwide on Netflix right now called Wish Man. And the easiest way to find me is go to Instagram, Greg S. Reed. If you DM me, it goes right to me, no filters or other people seeing it. And if you have a business question or a book recommendation or whatever, reach out. I promise to get back to you right away.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. You know, and I will say from Greg's standpoint, he really is one of those mentoring guys that pours into entrepreneurs and kind of the next generation. So it's fun to be around him, and at his events, the Secret Knock, it's a blast. So, well, thank you all for joining us for this Love Ideas Summit. Again, this is the Business Relationship Roundtable, and it's really based off of the idea that, you know, our entire summit, what we did is we gathered a bunch of relationship experts to talk about how do we get through this in the tight confines of being forced together in our homes with our spouses or our partners and our friends and our family, in this interesting time. And what we've seen is that's actually the opposite. In the business world, we've actually been forced apart. Now, is it working? It might be, but I think part of what we're seeking in this is to really offer some tips and tricks that may be part of the regular business world that we deal with, but really in the midst of our separation, having to deal in conversations on Zoom, and, you know, whether we like it or not, how do we continue to establish those relationships where we would normally step forward and shake a hand or give a hug and hang out for lunch, and now we're relegated to this. So I don't have an order, but I always want to hear from everybody. But I think I'm always going to start as gentlemen to go with Phoenix. Of, you know, what are your thoughts for how are you getting through some of the times today, and what's some advice on that for other folks?
Well, the first thing I could say is that, you know, I've dealt with some interesting transitions in my personal life, as you're aware of, Jess. And so the first thing that I have sort of activated for myself during this time is shutting down the cognitive distortions and really shifting my own mindset to look at what's actually happening versus what we perceive to be, you know, occurring. And so a lot of people are, you know, really looking at, oh my God, we're losing this, we're losing that, this is happening, that is happening. Everyone's sort of perceiving what's happening in the public with COVID and this whole time as being something sorely negative. And my first thought when everything shut down and everything happened in March was like, why did we all manifest this together? Like, I believe this has been a collective manifestation. Like, why did we all in America or in the world, why did we manifest this disease? What is this moment teaching us? What is this virus teaching us? Why are we now being forced to separate? And if we do come back together in the way that we used to, what will we do differently? So what has sort of gotten me through this time has been to really focus on, you know, how can I think about this in a positive way? What's the silver lining from this moment? And being in business, I've had to pull that out of a lot of my clients. One thing I've learned all these years is that some people can be at the very top of their game as, you know, an athlete, at the top of their game as an entertainer. But when they have to step out and start a nonprofit or step out and write a book, they are now starting as a novice, right? They're starting from ground zero. So I've had to really help them change, you know, their mindset around what are your unhealthy thoughts about, you know, trying something new. You're a champion at this, but you're nothing over here. So how can we bridge this? And I think that's what's happening in today's time, right? So many people were champions in what they were doing, then all of a sudden, bam, we were shifted into a way that was uncomfortable for everyone. Well, how can you sit in this space and excel in this space? How can you find the good in it and then do good in it and continue to manifest and build off of, you know, your strengths in this new space? And so that's the conversation I'm always having with, you know, my clients, my friends, my family members. And that's the conversation I'm having in my head all the time too, you know, because trust me, there are days where I'm like, I don't want to do a Zoom. I don't want to do this anymore. But, you know, it's been fruitful. And I think there's deeper reasonings and deeper things are going to come out of this time of all of us being apart. And part of that is that gratitude and appreciation when we actually do come back together.
That's good stuff. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that one. I agree on the end part of what she was just saying, because I see the greatest opportunity for collaboration the world's ever known. So it's horrible and horrific, the challenge of the people that have been afflicted physically and the illness. I mean, there's just nothing. However, the other side of that one, through every coin, there's another side. And for the first time, the world is coming together as a collective. And I think it's been one of the most incredible experiences of my lifetime. And I'm seeing, let's say, X amount of people suffer from this horrific pandemic. But people also need to realize of what's happening. For the first time in history, doctors and scientists from China are talking to doctors and scientists in Russia, in Ethiopia, in Egypt. And what's going to come from that, as I promise, someone's going to have some type of a peptide that they've been sitting on that someone else is a magical cure. In the next 10 years, you're going to be seeing discoveries for ailments that have suppressed mankind for many, many years and decades. So I'm seeing that. I'm also seeing people coming out, and you're seeing the best and the worst of people. You learn more about someone on their bad day than all their good days put together, right? And
Or
right
take
now,
them golfing, right?
Yeah, it's a great observation to be aware, to see the clues, patterns, and choices of the people that we want in our life. So yes, it is a horrific situation, and it's tough, and it is challenging. On the same note, all of a sudden, people just like us that all know of each other are coming together as a collective to maybe collaborate and do something so special that the world's never even seen before.
That's awesome. Wow, that's good stuff. It's funny, Greg, because as I know you a bit, that is exactly your personality. It's the way you think, you look, and you gather people, and then you take a step back. And what a great perspective. How about you, John? What do you think about that?
No, I think the collaboration opportunity, I think there's never been a time where people have been more accessible in the history of the world. I mean, with, like you want to get access to a CEO, a thought leader, whatever else, they're not vacationing in Ibiza. They're not running a conference over at, in Switzerland. They're at home like the rest of us, or not traveling near as much, not as busy. Like there's noise, but I think there's been less noise. So we've been able to, one of the things with the gifting agency is helping people build those relationships and stand out and whatever else. Where people are at. And a lot of these people that normally, like let's say, a Gary Vaynerchuk or a Simon Sinek or all these different business leaders, thought leaders, CEOs, you can get a Zoom live call with them, which at the end of the day, people just want access. So I think there are opportunities that have come from this. And, one of my mentors, John O'Leary, who some of you guys know, I mean, he's overcome insane obstacles just to even be alive, let alone like impact millions of people. But his thing is, like, what's the most I can do, or what's the gift in this? And I do think that there's obviously pain and struggle throughout all of this. But, for me, I've taken it as an opportunity to work on myself. I can't control the outside world and choices, good or bad, politics, any of that kind of stuff, but I can control. And so, I've been doing cold showers and, getting up in the morning and doing the sauna and, taking care of myself physically so I can lead my team and lead my clients. And I think that there's, like that to me, like I used to travel all the time. I have 4 little girls. I'm getting more time with my 7-month-old than I did with probably the last 3 girls combined, because I'm home. I'm able to help and be engaged. And so I do think that there's gifts in any of this, if you want to look for it, and if you want to like sift through the challenges and separate the wheat from the chaff. But it's definitely curveballs every day, no question.
It's interesting because our generation, we spent on average of 7 minutes a day with our fathers. That's just the way it was. And now our fathers, us, are around so much that our kids are going to grow up and go, where we said, oh, I never saw my dad. Now they're saying, man, he wouldn't go away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the grandfathers definitely love the grandchildren more. My dad definitely loves, I always tell him this, the grandchildren more. Just the relationship is totally different. And his first response was like, hey, I don't have to raise them, and I don't have to provide for them, right? So I can just love them. And I was like, yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah. And are you guys also seeing this with collaboration? For example, I'm in the event industry and live events. And since we couldn't do them, what happened is that my competitors all of a sudden became my allies. And so what I did is I started reaching out and said, hey, I was the first guy to really go online and do a Zoom, because our event got canceled right exactly at that time when we got shut down. And what happened is we called them and said, hey, here's my team that just helped us do this amazing thing. Would you like access to them? And then they used them and they shared. And now all of a sudden my competitors became my allies and my friends, and we're sharing our databases with one another. I've never seen that before. And it's been pretty cool to witness.
You know, I hear you guys saying some incredibly great things, and it's like family, mentoring, and technology. And those three themes seem to come out. I mean, the interesting part, Phoenix, you mentioned about grandparents. We actually, one of our sessions is the grand perspective, which is grandparents and how do they interact, whether they're close or whether they're far away, right? And you guys mentioned that. The mentoring side obviously is how, in the context of this, you know, like John was saying, is you still get together, right? Or Greg, you were saying the collaboration side, it just looks a little bit different. And I do have to say, at least we're blessed with technology. I mean, you know, I really enjoyed this time from a family standpoint with my wife because my kids were all at college. Well, guess what? They were all home. And that was actually, I mean, family dinners and things like that. But again, it kind of turned its head when we went to the business side of how do we interact? What do we do? And yet, you know, I teach visual storytelling, digital media at a private university here in Denver. And one of the things that I teach is collaboration. And, you know, the work we do in Hollywood, we sometimes do it like this over the internet. And people are like, how the heck do you do it? Man, we open up our screens, everybody gets to see stuff. You get through it, right? And this has kind of forced us into this place. So, yeah, some interesting perspectives. I did have a conversation with Ken Blanchard as well. And he had some very interesting things to say about this. So why don't we tune into him real quick? Recognizing people are tuning in this strange time of lockdown and, you know, but we still have to do business.
Yes. Well, the big thing I would say to people is, remember, love is the answer. What's the question? And when I say love, it's just being there for your people. It's not romantic love. It's just loving the fact that there's a pearl of goodness in all of them. How do you bring it out so that 1 + 1 + 1 is a lot bigger than any of those numbers? And so that you're just going to bring out the best in your people. And if your people win, you win, and your organization wins. It's a triple win for everybody. But get your ego out of the way. We started a 12-step Egos Anonymous. You'll get a kick out of, Jess, and Lead Like Jesus, because it's the biggest addiction in the world, you know. Because when you look at all of the negative addictions, whether it be drinking or drugs or sex or whatever at all, it's looking for things outside yourself to make you feel better about yourself. So that's an ego issue. It's a self-fear and self-doubt. The other ego issue is false pride, where you think you're better than other people. And so we need to, it's so fun. I got a bunch of clients that at their weekly meeting, they start off with their top people with an Egos Anonymous meeting. And if you know anything about AA, the meeting starts off and so people one by one, it's voluntary, stand up and say, hi, I'm Ken. And everybody goes, hi, Ken. And then I'm an egomaniac. And then you have to tell within the last week an example of self-doubt or fear or false pride to do. And we say to people, if you can't think of something you did in the last week that was egotistical, either false pride or fear or self-doubt, you probably lie about other things, you know, because we all have an ego to deal with. And it's just like, if we kind of keep on dealing with it, we can see it out there, and then we maybe can stop it from having the impact that we don't want it to have. So it's not about you as a leader, it's about your people.
So what are some of the things that you feel have been easy transitions with what we're dealing with now, and what are the difficult ones?
Let's have another guy start this one off.
Go ahead, John.
All right, I'll dive in. Well, I think that one of the easy transitions for us is we've been virtual for 12 years. This has been something that we've wanted not to happen, but that we feel like there's a lot of wasted energy and space necessarily with with having offices and whatever else. A lot of our employees are in different states. They work from home. They have the flexibility. A lot of them are college educated moms that want that flexibility. And so that part was easy because we already had, Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all this stuff set up. I was already doing a ton of interviews. Most of my interviews for podcasts and media was done virtually anyway. So those parts were easy. What was interesting was, we had obviously been speaking, we had a bunch of events cancel, and we thought we were kind of dead in the water on the speaking side. What we realized for us was that our secret sauce was something that we've been doing all along, which is these love bomb gifts. So a lot of YPO, EO, Vistage type chapters of CEOs were craving that in-person connection and interaction. And so we just converted their budget of what they normally spend on, 30, 40, 50 grand of speakers, saying, hey, we'll reduce our speaking fee, but here's the love bomb you're going to send out to your 200 members. And so our revenues will actually be up from a speaking side, but we had to be willing to shift and say, what's the opportunity here? What's the market going to bear? How can we get creative with some of the tools that we already have? And I'd also say that something that I think is really important to us is the relationships with our employees. We started hiring babysitters and different people for date nights. We're paying for marriage conferences because we feel like if an employee goes through a divorce anytime, but especially now, it's going to just destroy their ability to contribute to the team, but also their family. And that's a big thing. So we're shipping $5,000 mattresses to our employees. We're doing crazy things saying, hey, if we can't get together and do trips and things that we normally would do, how can we invest and show up for our people from afar and continue even in a downturn or a valley? How can we show up for our employees? Because they're oftentimes dealing with crazy things now, becoming teachers while they're trying to work from home and all this other nonsense, and try to get really practical with that. And that's something that I think my business partners and I have been focused on. Just didn't realize we'd use our skill sets this way, but it's worked out really well.
John, I will say you've been always very good at that, of serving people. It's where your concept of giftology came about, but to see it, and I get your posts and stuff, to see how you've allowed it to play out in the context of serving the just ground level needs of making things better in this time is incredible. So I will say, great job, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Did he say love bomb?
He did say love bomb, man.
It's so fun. That's going to be the name of my new band. But that was just a great visual in my head. You just blanketed your database with love, right, at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That whole thing of him sending mattresses. Seriously, talk about the core level care of taking care of people. Like I said, man, John, if I could, I'd just give you a big old hug right now, man. That's awesome.
Well, I would accept. I'm a hugger.
Yeah, for sure. When you mentioned, you mentioned John O'Leary is one of your mentors. John is one of our main speakers for this event. So, of the 10 slots that we have, 2 speakers a day, John is one of them. And his, like always, man, his inspiration is incredible for encouraging people through this time. So,
yeah,
how about
one of the best humans on the planet. If you don't love and resonate with John O'Leary, then you don't have a pulse. Honest to God, he's one of the best humans I've ever met, and I'm honored to be his friend.
Yeah, he's one of the most real guys that you've ever met, dealing with what he deals with, man. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so back to dealing with what we're doing. Phoenix or Greg, what do you think?
Well, I'll just chime in a little bit. One of the greatest ease and grace for my industry is, I'm in personal development, so we're selling hope. That's pretty easy to sell right now. We're going through some challenges and trials and tribulations. So selling hope and what's possible and seeing the potential, and this too shall pass. And, what's interesting is in football, a quarterback never throws a football where a wide receiver is standing. They throw it downfield and let them run to it. So myself and my clients and my circle, what we're doing is saying, okay, what can we focus on to be kind to our future self? Look, we know in 6 months right now, things will be different. In a year, for sure, things will be different. So what will that look like? How can we start preparing for it? It's like one of these type of things. It's such simple actions, but if you want a shoebox full of money for Christmas gifts and holidays, well, today go get a shoebox and then put $20 in, and then every other day put in $20 and come Christmas, you'll have a shoebox full of money. None of it is difficult, but as soon as you start seeing how simple and breaking it down into steps, we can all accomplish what we want. And so for myself and my team, that's what we're doing. We're saying, how can we be kind to our future self?
I think in these hard times, if we're going to be servants to others, and particularly our organization, like our son is up here at the lake, and he's been running the company from here and all. But one of the things he really was so clear on is revisioning the company and sort of saying, okay, what is this all about? Let's take a look at, do our values still hold up, and all of that kind of thing. And once that is really clear and people feel that they get a chance to give their opinions and all, then when you turn that pyramid upside down and you're there to help, you're saying, okay, how do I help us win on that? That's interesting. Alice, could you tell about the success you had? Because maybe we can all learn from that. And John, what happened over here? So it's a really interesting. He also sends out a weekly email that kind of summarizes what he's learned over the week. But when he took over as president, he announced right away, he said, I want to be clear on my values as president. Number one is to be forthright. I'm going to be clear with you what I know and what I don't know. And my second value is mastery. I want all of us to work to be the best we possibly can be at what we're being asked to do. And then my third value is kindness, and I want us to do it in a loving, kind way. And even though we've had to furlough a whole bunch of people, and another bunch has taken early retirement and all, I think people are really feeling pretty good because, he's operating like a servant leader, even though some tough decisions are being made, but he's trying to do it in a way that people feel that they're involved.
That's awesome, man. Phoenix?
I love that. I'm going to piggyback off of that because that's exactly what we're doing. We have been in these intense strategy sessions of what hasn't worked in the past, pre-COVID, just what hasn't worked. What do we want to work? What's going to be the end game? Who needs to do this? Who needs to do that? So looking at our flow of personal clients that we're working with, what do we need to do to expand your offerings and to really authenticate you even more, and to, let's say you're trying to get more donations for those schools you own out in Africa. Okay, so what are some steps that we're going to take? And I believe that, again, looking at the silver lining, COVID this time has slowed us all down enough to really pay attention to what we really want and don't want, and again, what's working and what we want to work. And so we've actually been preparing and strategizing on just products, services, expansion, moving forward. We're working on putting together treatments for documentaries. There's so much happening that I don't think would have really happened in the speed that it is if things hadn't slowed down enough for us actually to, think and create on this level. I think the creative juices are really flowing because everyone's a little bit, we're all a little bit more still. So that's been the blessing of it. And just the only loss that I think I've really experienced in this time is we had to shut down in Capitol Hill in Denver. We were opening up a co-working space, me and my partner. It would have been the first female Black-owned co-working space in Colorado, and we had to shut it down because literally we were launching in May, and of course everything happened, and no one wants to be inside of a space working with all the fear that was going on. So, that was the only thing that we really had to shift. But, my company is very digital. We have clients around the world. So the day-to-day operations had not shifted. Kind of like John, who said he expanded even more with the reach, that has happened as well. Our revenues have been up. We've been able to really take the time to dive in a little bit deeper with our clients and their purpose. Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, I hear all of you saying some great things. I mean, it sounds like the big guy in the sky basically hit the reset button for everybody and has offered us the opportunity to clean the slate of some things, of maybe habits we had gotten into about how we have not been doing things well and starting over. Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, it's interesting what happened for myself and my friends, right? Especially when things were happening, like Phoenix was saying, the fear. And we didn't know, it was the fear of the unknown. And so what we did for myself is I called my lawyer, I called my insurance guy, I called everyone and said, look, how does my death style look? And they go, what do you mean? I go, how do I look? Like if I pass today, if worst case, what does it look like? And go, oh, you're set. Your kid's going to be a millionaire and all this stuff and set for private school. And I went, so I'm good. He goes, you're good. He goes, but a legacy. We got these books. We got these things. I go, I'm set. I go, okay. Now what's my new lifestyle going to look like? And that was my reset button. I went outside and said, do I need these 3 brand new cars in the driveway that I can't even drive right now? Do I need this? And it made me stop and step back and look at things. So just last weekend, we went through and took all the knick-knack stuff that we collect and did a garage sale and literally just cleaned house and started saying what was important to us and saying, look, if we haven't used this in 6 months or a year, do we really need this in our lives? And maybe we can bless this to somebody else. And we were selling pretty amazing stuff for nothing, just so other people could be blessed with it. And we realized that the new lifestyle that will be coming out of this will be something to be looked at, as well.
A simplified lifestyle, minimalistic, just, and I, when I tell you that the Goodwill and the homeless shelter that's not too far from my home have been packed with donations, I think that everyone's been on that train that you've been on, Greg. Just like, how can we simplify our life? Like declutter your environment, you declutter your mind. So that's, I love that. I wish I was at the garage sale, man. I really do. I love it.
I had an empty car coming back from San Diego. Shucks, I could have got it. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting. We were doing, I was sharing some serious autographed books from, no one really understood the power of what was there. And, they didn't know who I was. So it was pretty cool to see,
Wow.
what people rifle through for, 50 cents.
That's amazing. Well, good job, Greg, right? And Zoom happens. I'm going to say that out loud. Obviously, John dropped off. He'll be back with us, a little text. This is also part of kind of the regular dealing of how to pick up where you left off and keep things going. Well, I love some of the things that you guys are saying. Greg, I love your concept of what does hope look like? And how, again, kind of like John with the love bomb, you're saying, how do we help provide hope in this time? And that's an important element. So, and I'm going to use your other thing of, the wide receiver, throw to where they're going, not to where they are. How do we do that? What are the, 3 tips for that? What's that look like for engaging people that are struggling from a business standpoint in the midst of this stuff? How do we help them throw to where they're going? Start with the box, right?
I'm just going to share rather than what other people should do, I'll share what I'm doing. Okay. I believe that credit will become the new gold. So I am not a rocket scientist, but I can see that 34% of people are not paying their rent. I say that we had 28% of people not paying their car payments last month. And that's just now. And so when this avalanche starts coming, people with a good credit and a little bit of cash in the bank and a little bit of stability are going to be the people that are going to be able to capitalize on the unexpected opportunities that are coming our way. Mm-hmm. So myself and my friends have been spending our time making sure we have a 750 to 850 credit score, so we're set. We're also making sure that we're transferring a lot of stuff from, hope, investments to cash on hand so that we can be prepared to go in and do it. The fact of the matter is, look, if a business goes out of business and their furniture is on sale for 20 cents on the dollar, it's such a shame that had to happen, but someone's going to buy that. I want to put myself in the position so that I could be the person to come in and capitalize on that and maybe able to share it with other people on the successes along the way. So that's how I look at it. And I also do contrarian investing. So as soon as this thing happened, the #1 coffee chain in the world, their stock went in half. So again, I'm not a rocket scientist. I went and bought that coffee chain stock, realizing the second things open up, where are they going to go back? Right to that coffee chain. And sure enough, that stock doubled. So how can you start seeing things that are already there before us and just see it from a different lens and a different point of view?
That's good stuff. Thanks, Greg. Phoenix, how about you? John, welcome back. We let everybody know it's time.
Commercial break.
Yeah, and by the way, everyone, and that's the secret of life. Oh, sorry, John. Yes. We talked about where Bigfoot's hiding, the aliens, everything else. Bummer, you missed that.
It's all coming out in 2020 anyway. Pentagon put out all kinds of reports. Yeah, I love it.
So to piggyback off what Greg just said, in the last couple of months, I have looked at the market and really seen just what is going to be beneficial for mankind moving forward. There have been a couple of I have ownership and partnership in two really great tech firms that are going to revolutionize the way that people are able to report things on their credit. One, renters can actually report their rent on their credit, so their score can go up to one, that 700 realm. And the other company is the first ever blind lending platform. That's the first non-biased, non-discrimination blind lending platform, has never been developed. I'm co-owner and partner in both of these major firms. One's already national, the second one's getting ready to go national. And we have expanded our reach already during this time, and we are getting ready to amp up again, putting our messages and ourselves in the future to look at who's getting ready to be impacted right now and who can we help, in our own business relationships, in our own, social enterprises, who can we assist? Because things are going to get worse for some people, even though they're going to get better for a marginalized group of people. Things are going to get worse for a lot of people, for millions of people. So how can we help those individuals and assist them in, moving forward after this, everything that's getting ready to happen? So I've actually, looked at that, asked myself those questions. How can we assist? Came onto these firms, getting ready to do these big national pushes. And we are really trying to make sure that, as folks are stepping into the water, let's make sure they don't drown, right? Let's make sure that this 2020 does not affect the next 20 years of their life. And so that's what I've been doing. And I would, push other individuals to do that. Those who are listening right now, look at the opportunities of how you can help other individuals, especially if you're someone who, is a little comfortable and you have things figured out in a sense for yourself financially and even, emotionally and mentally. How can you be a listening ear or someone, even broader than that, someone who can actually assist others right now? Who can you donate to? What organizations can you volunteer for? Or what businesses can you get involved with that are going to, push the collective forward in a positive way? Those are the things I would look for if I was, if I was someone watching this. And of course, I've done that myself. Sounds like Greg has done that as well. But how can we create things that's going to push everyone else forward so that all of us don't drown? Because when it rains, it does not rain on one house. So.
Yeah, and I want to just also give a different little point of view of that one too. Mm-hmm. So as much as her and I agree, I also believe, and you can't give out of it from an empty bag, and you got to fill your own cup first and fill the world with what flows over. Here's where I slightly disagree. I think we got to get selfish right now. I think it's time to fill our own cup first. And I think we start working on our foundation, because when we can become that leader and example because we've done it already, then we can help other people. Unfortunately, I see so many people that don't have anything and they're spending their time giving back and sharing, and then they're wondering why they can't pay their own rent and putting themselves in that situation. So I think this is a time that we get our foundation set. Pull up your credit score. Start disputing things that are inaccurate. What can we do today to be kind to our future self so we're strong and stable, so then we can actually be so strong in that boat we can start pulling people in and saving them, but we have to be firm first.
It's kind of like being on the plane, right? Put on your own mask first, then help everybody else. So Phoenix, I do want to say, that I'm a creative person, and, working in movies and TV and all that stuff, and stuff just pours out of my head. In my classes, I teach that, use your sleeping time to debunk all of the things that are bothering you, because stuff will just, and get up when that idea happens. Get up, right? Write it down, because great money makers come out of that. But I will say, in hanging around with Phoenix, that same kind of thing, like she's talking about the blind lending source. Oh my gosh, Greg, you were just like, holy cow, non-discriminatory. Wow, incredible. I mean, that's the way Phoenix is from a business and helping other people standpoint, especially lifting up the minority status and things that are going on like that. She is so awesome at it. So thanks for that. John, our the basis for this question was really wrapped around something that Greg was talking about. What does hope look like, and how do we throw the ball to where people are going? How do we teach ourselves to go where we're going, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think that, growing up a farm kid, I wasn't around a bunch of wealthy people. So I think that more than ever, before I was on this interview and call, I was with a group of guys called the Selfless Givers, and it's all these heavyweight guys. It's basically kind of a self-made mastermind of a bunch of guys that are ballers that also are generous. And so I think that, a lot of the things that, be careful what you put in your head, be careful the people you surround yourself with, because that's who you're going to rise to and play to. And one of the guys who's a mentor of mine, Todd Herman, talked about, like, the tsunami's coming for all of us. You can either drown or you can grab a surfboard and ride the thing, and then grab another surfboard and ride another one. And so, I think that I'm being really careful about what I'm putting in my head, who I'm listening to, who I'm around, because I do think that those kind of people that are complaining about everything, or people that are saying, hey, where is the ball going to be in 6 months? What are the opportunities? And then having, the confidence or the courage to actually put money onto the table and bet on those things. There's a lot of people that are like, I knew about Bitcoin 5 years ago. Did I buy a bunch of it? No, I didn't. I heard about it at a mastermind, and one of the guys like, this is what's coming. It was at like is it like 25 cents or some stupid number? So there's a lot of people that are going to talk about things, but actually taking action on anything and betting on yourself, or making decisions, or making gambles, or saying, hey, this is where I think it's going to be in 12 months. For us, we eat our own dog food. I increased my gifting budget during a down time. Why? Because I think the smart people right now are doubling and tripling down on their Facebook ads, because ad budgets are being cut, which means your ability to stand out and go do things is way cheaper than it's ever been. And it's good to talk about it, but the people that will actually take action on that and do something about it and leverage it to their benefit versus, write about it or talk about it is very, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, know the right thing to say, but have the courage to do it are two very different things.
That's good stuff. Well, we're kind of coming, and Greg, I know you've got some things. If you guys need to leave, fine. I kind of have one last question around this, and I do want to thank you all, because, again, as friends and people I respect in where you are and how you're doing life and making things happen in the business world. That means a lot to me. So I appreciate you coming and joining me. My last question really is, how do we get in the zone? Here we are, sometimes you're playing well, sometimes you're not playing well. What's your advice for that dial in? And obviously many of the things you've talked about have those snippets, but what's that one last nugget you want to share with people?
We'll go first, because I got to jump off to go do this TV stuff.
Yep.
For myself, it comes down to one little simple message. Surround ourselves with people we have respect for, not people we have influence over. That's it. It's like, who's getting the results that we want for ourselves today? And ask that person for guidance. Stop seeking opinion and look for counsel. And that is the key to personal development, no matter what it is and anything we want. So for example, if you want to start a brand new restaurant chain, I could go to my buddy who did Chuck E. Cheese, but he did it 40 years ago. I'd probably say, who's doing In-N-Out or, Five Guys, who's getting the results I want for myself. And if we can ask the people that are doing it, add our own spin to it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just put a new hubcap. And I'm realizing right now, when we come out of this, we're going to have an opportunity to see things from a whole different perspective, even though something that's already been there. Being first to market is not the key to success. Right now, it's third or fourth to market is the wheelhouse. So what have you seen already that has been working that you could do your own little twist to it? And who knows what the future has in store.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. And if you have to go,
I do. Invite you guys. I look forward to connecting. And I just got this TV, guys. They're all through. Bye.
Thanks, Greg. Bye. Nice to meet you.
So for us, what do you guys think? What's that zone? How do we get in the zone here?
Well, John said something earlier, and I wanted to tag onto that a little bit. My next book is called Keep Betting on Yourself. And so I would say, in lieu of that, I would say that the thing that gets me in the zone is creating. So when I say creating, that means, writing, doing anything that actually puts me in that mode where I'm creating something in my mind, creating something with my hand. It could be something design-wise, just something that gets my right brain flowing. So I would say anything that you can find that actually feels good to you, that puts you in the mindset to create, do that. Even if you're stuck and you're trying to figure out, well, what type of content I want to do, what is this? Just start by creating something. And I think once you get that ball rolling, you will find your path, you will find that way forward. And if for some reason you still are stuck, I always tell people that there's nothing wrong with just being still and meditating. Centering yourself, shutting up your mind, because our minds are just running rampant right now anyway, and just stilling yourself so that you can hear your higher self tell you exactly what it wants you to do. And so those are my two things. That's how I get going. Just start creating, writing, moving, or I'll sit still if for some reason me moving is not really working. In that moment, I'll work hard at just sitting still so that I can listen to determine exactly what I should do next.
That's good stuff. Thanks, Phoenix. One of the nonprofits that I created, our moniker, the 3 words that went, it was serve, educate, and create. And it's interesting that the creation side is the one that has built the most of the things that has allowed us to serve and educate better. You know what I mean? So, John, how about you, man? How do we get in the zone?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, my faith in Jesus is that's where everything starts for me. Foundation. I know that everybody has a faith in a higher power, but for me, that's what everything kind of comes down to. And then I think within that, a morning ritual to start the day a certain way, which a buddy of mine, Hal Elrod, wrote the book Miracle Morning like 6-7 years ago. And to me, like how you start the day is how like the day kind of goes. And most people, it's frantic, it's on social media, it's not taking care of themselves. So, I intermittent fast every day, drinking water, I'm doing the sauna. I just ordered a cold plunge tank. I do Wim Hof breathing. I have my Miracle Morning set up to set myself up that, after that first hour, even if nothing goes well, I took care of, I gave myself a shot to be like clear of head, confident, ability to make good decisions, pour into people, all those different things. And so I think if you want to get into the zone, the oxygen mask, yes, but like, what are those steps that you're consistently taking day after day, no matter what? And then from that, like you have strength to be able to, try different things, do different things, make different decisions, pour into people, be a person of confidence and know who you are and what your purpose is. But to me, that Miracle Morning is where everything kind of starts for me to get into the zone and to command the day the way that I would like it to go. It doesn't always go perfectly for me or anybody else, but at least gives me a fighting chance to have it unfold in the direction I want it to go.
That's great stuff, John. I really appreciate that. It's kind of, I read somewhere where, when you get up, make your bed, because if nothing else happens, at least you accomplished one thing, right?
Yeah, one of the generals. Yeah, that general. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that kind of cracked me up. And so that's actually how I start. I start with just kind of making sure everything looks good there, and then to move into what you talked about is, what a big thing for me has been to stay away from media. I think there's so many negative impressions that are being pushed upon us these days, and so to sit down and focus my day. I like your idea. It sounds like, John, that's prayer or meditation or something that takes you to that place of saying, who do I need to be, and what am I going to look towards? So yeah, I appreciate that honesty. I know Phoenix lives out her faith as well in her life, and so that's important stuff for us in that manner.
One of the things I say, Jess, is the important thing about leadership isn't what happens when you're there, it's what happens you're not there. I mean, as a parent, you can stand over your kids and get them to do it, but what are they going to do when they head off to school or they head out the playground? And because I think that as a leader, you ought to be interested in your people. The best leaders, Jess, I've seen, they realize that their number one customer is their people. And if you take care of your people and love on your people and involve your people, they'll go out of their way to take care of your number two most important customer, the people who use your products and services. And then they'll become raving fans of your organization, become part of your sales force. And that takes care of the owners. A lot of people make a mistake. They think that the reason to be in business is to make profit. No, profit is the applause you get for creating a motivating environment for your people so they'll take care of your customers. And I think if people would kind of remember that kind of thing, it's pretty powerful.
I'm writing that down. That's a great nugget. The
Yeah.
profit is your applause. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, anything else I haven't asked you guys that you feel like you might want to share before we sign off here?
You know, for example, if you ask me of all the things I've taught, what I would want to hold on to if somebody took everything away, probably be the second secret of the 1 Minute Manager, about catching people doing things right and accenting the positive. And yet, when I go around the world and I ask people, how do you know whether you're doing a good job? The number one response is, nobody's yelled at me lately. No news is good news, you know, and they don't get caught doing things right very much, you know, and which I think is really kind of sad. And because that's what you ought to be doing, is wandering around and accenting the positive and building on that. And if they're not moving in the direction, you don't beat them up. You just sort of say, hey, here's what I've noticed. Performance isn't moving in the direction. We call that now 1 Minute Redirect. We changed it in the latest version of the 1 Minute Manager from 1 Minute Reprimand. You know, how can I help you get back in line? So it's all, number one saying is, how can I help you?
I would just tell people to, you know, to shoot your shot, right? This is about business relationships, and don't be afraid to just shoot your shot. The worst thing that could happen is someone could say no. You know, if you want to meet your favorite celebrity or talk to them or do an interview with them on your platform, shoot your shot. You know, do your research, find out where they are, and shoot your shot. It's going to be okay. You know, that's the rule of PR too. You know, we have to shoot our shots all the time to book, you know, national speaking engagements or book national or international media for clients. You know, you have to shoot your shot. So I would just tell people to do that, and don't be afraid of it.
I was hoping you were going to sing that, Phoenix, like out of Hamilton, right? Not gonna lose my shot. Not gonna.
Well, you guys don't want to hear me sing. Like, trust me, I have a horrible voice. I can dance and I can do a lot of other things, but I did not get the gift of singing. God did not bless me with that. Not at all. Not at all.
That's funny.
Hey, John, what's your last nugget, man?
I would say that I'll give away what we've built. You know, it took 20 years to build, which is kind of our methodology and our system on how to, you know, lay out a relationship plan. You know, almost everybody has business plans. Maybe some creative people have PR plans, operations plans, finance plans. Nobody has a relationship plan. And so if anybody that's watching goes to giftologysystem.com, they can download that for free. But the biggest thing is taking the step and, you know, write that one note a day. You know, it's the old school stuff of pick up the phone and talk to that one person a day. You know, write the note, make the video. Like, a lot of times people get overwhelmed and say there's so many different things. And, you know, to Phoenix's point, take the one shot, take the one, you know, the one phone call, shoot the one video, do the one thing. Like, it, you know, if you do that once a day for a year, that's 365 videos or 365 phone calls or 365 notes. I mean, Tony Robbins talks about, you know, the 10-minute hour of power type stuff. And it sounds cheesy and cliche, but it works if you're willing to set aside the time and commit to doing it over and over again. It compounds. With relationships, it compounds really in all parts of our life. So I would say, you know, do the one thing every single day and come back a year from now and say it didn't work, because I guarantee that it will if you're willing to put in the work.
That's awesome. Well, I do greatly appreciate that you guys carved out some time to hang out with me today, and love what you guys are doing, and look forward to people being able to hear your advice and wisdom in the midst of the things we're dealing with. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.